humans aren't born out of laying around on their asses. We've been born out of conquering a world. We're the dominant species. We built all this. We're powerful, and we're beautiful, and we're ready to build the next level of civilization in God's plan. But you must stop bowing to those who want to make you a victim. You must become the victor. If you love God and you want to build a pro-human future, then you are an enemy of the New World Order and Satanism. They want us shut down because we have the Spirit. I'm jacked into the source. I know the secret, and I want to see you empowered. But you have to believe in yourself first. This is the truth, and everyone knows it.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'll just come right out and say it. I think Conor McGregor is innocent, and the reason why I think he's innocent is because the details of the story are bullshit, and it was in a UK civil court. This was not a criminal proceeding. This was a civil proceeding. And by the way, do I need to remind all of you that this same kangaroo court in the UK was completely and totally against Johnny Depp and in favor of Amber Heard? Yeah. It was a joke. It was a kangaroo court. So this guy here says a lot of controversies around this man right now. My personal opinion, Conor McGregor is innocent. I agree. The woman partied for 3 days, lying to her partner about her whereabouts, all while leaving a 3-year-old at home. She doesn't exactly scream morals and truth. Yeah, exactly. So in these sort of situations, I tend to be skeptical because I know that women have a propensity for lying and an allergic reaction to accountability. So, in a situation like this, you have one of two options. You can have a woman admit that they did something wrong, or basically, oh, no, I was taken against my will by Conor McGregor, the, multi-millionaire. It's bullshit. It stinks to high heaven. Nothing in this story makes sense. An alleged offense from 7 years ago that was not criminally charged smells like extortion. Exactly. She's only after the money. I hope afterwards she has to face jail time. And I agree. I do agree with that very much. I think that women who make false allegations like this should have to face jail time. But unfortunately, the UK is a fallen state, and they're not going to get a hold of this stuff anytime soon. And I think that, unfortunately, this is what many men find themselves in terms of situation, where they're at a party and some promiscuous lady can make up whatever story she wants. Now, this wasn't a criminal trial. And that's what a lot of people don't seem to understand. A lot of people think that this was a trial in the US, which is hilarious, and they also think it was a criminal trial. So, like, well, why isn't he going to jail? No, the whole point of a civil trial, for those who don't know, is that the evidence is different. You don't have to have as much evidence in a civil trial than you do in a criminal trial. So they find him, they've found him guilty and liable for like 300,000 pounds. But it's just to make a statement. Obviously, if they thought that he was guilty of doing this, they would have filed criminal charges. But there wasn't enough there, and it's a kangaroo court, and they're all a bunch of woke progressive retards, and so they decided, you know what? Yeah, let's just take this guy down a peg. And I know there's a lot of people that don't like Conor McGregor. I could give a shit. I could wipe my ass what your opinion is of the guy personally. The fact of the matter is, and you have other MMA fighters that are jumping on this like a bitch in heat for some sort of clout and relevancy. Conor, for whatever you may say about him, he's a showman, he's a hothead, he's all these different things. But there's nothing that's demonstrated that he would have to force himself. And that's sort of the thing. You have these girls that are like midwits. They're not very intelligent. They're not like super attractive. Somehow they get into the orbit of a guy like this. And all of a sudden, Conor McGregor was so overcome that he's like, oh, I could have these supermodels if I wanted to. I could have these gorgeous girls. but I have to force myself on you. No, the reality is you were the easiest one. More than likely, you were the easiest one. You were the most willing one. You went with it. You liked it. You enjoyed it until you had to come time to admit what you did was wrong. And then you basically just accused him. And hey, this guy, no, this whole thing stinks to high heaven. It's just bullshit. Not to mention she's already caught lying about his friend R-wording her. She should be getting prison sentence for this. Serial liar. Women who false accuse should face the same punishment as the crime she is accusing. Yeah, but there's a reason why they didn't do a criminal charge. It's civil. That's why. I really don't trust her at all, but Conor does scream. But Conor does scream moral and truth about leaving his wife and 4 kids home while spending a night with a woman like that. Hope he wise up next time. He is an innocent, only innocent in that history and his wife. So when I say that he's innocent, I don't mean that he's not done anything wrong ever in his life. I mean, he's innocent of what he's being accused of, which is full blown, not like, oh, he touched my butt a little bit. It's like full blown, violation, which is a lie. This woman is a serial liar. She's been caught lying multiple times, based on what we've seen here, based on what we know of the case, and it's a civil case. If it were criminal, he would have been charged. Not gonna lie, he just so happens to fall for the one crime I doubt he committed. Yeah. Not only that, why is she only after money and not for him to be imprisoned? That's a good yeah, that's a good point. Her hands and wrists were black and blue and her breasts were bleeding. What the fuck? If Conor did it, why is she only going after money? And why is she not calling? Yeah, see, that's the thing. If she were like, if it were genuinely that she were just viciously, I don't believe any of it. I think the whole thing is a total and complete bullshit case. It's absolute bullshit. She saw an opportunity to take advantage of this guy, and now you've got a bunch of virtue-hungry freaks that are willing to jump on it. They don't care about the details of the case. They don't like Conor McGregor, and that's that. You do know a prostitute, thief, and a murderer can be R-worded. No means no. Of course, however, in this case, I don't believe she was. His tough reputation and losing his temper a bit on the stand didn't help. It didn't mean he's an R-word. His team tried to convince the jury not to go down that narrative, to take emotion out of it, and only consider the evidence. They failed to do that. It's a very big thing, so it's understandable why he might have lost control of his emotions. But like you said, does not mean he's... Yeah, so if you lose control of yourself when you're on the stand and you're being accused of this horrific thing, and it's like, yeah, anyone would get pissed. He is married with children. Where's your condemnation of him? Yeah, absolutely. No. 100%. He should be condemned for what he did. He's got a wife and get it home. But this isn't like infidelity. This is what he's being accused of is far more serious. He's no angel. No, I doubt. No doubt it'll get overturned. I don't know if it'll get overturned. I think he'll just pay it and be done. She was too dramatic after the civil verdict. Says it all. Yeah. I personally don't like notorious MMA, but I don't believe the word that comes out of the woke court. These 304s try to trap a rich man, thinking they can milk him for his money, when the man understands the game and don't want to play. Yeah, I agree. Death penalty, yeah, I actually agree with that. That's fair. That's the side that people aren't showing. Matrix attack. He does talk about the Irish immigration problem a lot. So, I mean, you can go down the list, and people are talking about this, but The fact of the matter is, I don't believe it. I just don't. There are too many irregularities, too many things that they seem weird. This woman seems she seems like she seemed. I'll give you my take on it. I don't know all the details. I mean, more details could come out, but I'll give you my opinion based on what I've seen. It seems like your typical clear cut case of some woman that was doing something extremely wrong. He was doing something wrong too, but she was doing something wrong, and instead of taking accountability, came up with an excuse, came up with some cockamamie, convoluted, ridiculous, over the top story, and then there's not enough evidence to criminally charge him, so you civilly charge him. And so the standard for evidence is so much lower in a civil case. It starts to make a little bit more sense, doesn't it? Now, if more evidence comes out, which, I mean, it could, if more evidence comes out and it proves that he's guilty, then I will amend my opinion. But I will remind all of you that, again, this is the UK court system. This is not the American court system. And that same court system sided with Amber Heard. Let me repeat that for all of you. Their court system is run by a bunch of woke leftist freaks. They believed Amber Heard over Johnny Depp. They sided with her over him. Thankfully, the American legal system, while it has its issues, is far superior to the British one, or the one in the UK, and justice ultimately prevailed where basically Johnny Depp won his day in court. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that's what I wanted to say about this. Conor McGregor, I don't think he's guilty. That's what I have to say. Anyway, thanks for watching. Appreciate it. And I will see you next time.